Hey guys, it is Adrienne, and I am making a new weight loss update. Anyone who's been following me, you know I haven't really posted in about 11 months, and I think I've made all of those posts pretty private. Um, I got real frustrated there for a while, and I couldn't get motivated, and I don't know, there was a lot of just not thinking about it going on, and I got back up to 305, which is 5 pounds under my heaviest of 310, and I just started feeling like crap again. So when I get over the 300-pound mark, I really just start having problems with blood pressure and just I start feeling like I can't do anything anymore because of my weight. And I recognized that and I needed to do something. And I needed to do something different than I had done before. Because I've done this before. I've lost weight. I've lost like 80 pounds before and I just gained it back. It was just one of those things where it got out of hand and I stopped doing what I needed to be doing, and half the time I didn't even recognize I was doing it. I knew I wasn't weighing in, I knew I was gaining weight, but it's not an all at once thing, you know what I mean? It's not like I regain it all in 2 weeks or something like that. So for me it's just difficult. So this time I realized I have got to do something. I mean, I'm putting myself in line for worse problems, and I really of everything, it's the most frustrating when I feel like I can't do anything or I can't do something, or if I try to do something, I'm so winded within like 3 seconds that I feel horrible about myself. Um, that's really kind of what it got to the point to. And I said I was going to start, and then I would try it for a day or half a day or a week or a couple weeks, but never very long. It's just like I just couldn't work up the motivation or the energy to do it right. And that's when I had to start thinking about what I'd done wrong every other time, because well, clearly I know how to lose weight. I've been on a million different plans. I've used Spark People, I've done Weight Watchers, I've done a medically supervised diet, I've done this, that, and 12 other things. I mean, it's just like, and they work. They're good programs, all of them, and it's clearly not the program that's the problem, it's me. So this time I have been looking very hard at why. Why do I do what I do? Why have I gained all this weight? Why have I turned to food? And uh, it was really kind of hard for me to admit, but I just realized that I gave up addictions a lot younger in life for food. And admitting I was a food addict was really hard for me because I never really saw myself that way. I saw myself as, I don't know what, but lazy. I mean, I would give you anything, but I'm not an addict. Because when I was younger, I was on phenobarbital, and I was on it for a few years, and I was a horrible person. I talked to my mom about it, and she pretty much told me how I was super happy, giggly, outgoing child. I was a skinny ass child, and then I went on phenobarbital when I was younger because I had seizures, and it was kind of like the beginning of the end, if you would, as far as that goes. And I became addicted to the phenobarbital, but I hated who I was. Like, I hated it so much that I think when I was 13, I decided to take myself off of it. But I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell my dad, I didn't tell anyone, because I was afraid that they were going to make me go to the doctor and go back on it, and I did not want that. I didn't like being me. I didn't remember things properly. To this day, I still don't remember part of middle school. It's just, I don't remember it. That's kind of a big thing. So I took myself off, and about 6 months later, I told my mom, and she was furious. And she wasn't furious that I took myself off of it. She was furious that I didn't tell her I took myself off of it, because there could have been some rather serious side effects. But one of the things that I did more of while I was on the phenobarbital and then afterwards was I ate. I used to, when I was real little, get out, like 6 o'clock in the morning, crack of dawn, and I would get on my horse and I would ride it all day. And after I started taking phenobarbital, I stopped being like that. I stopped being motivated in anything. We'll go with that. I've had a hard time being motivated about anything since then, and it's a little weird, but I never saw it as being anything but me. So when I had to look kind of why I did this, I realized I just kind of changed one thing for another, but it's food. You don't really realize it. And when I was younger and I was still active in horses and whatever, I may have been a little overweight, but I wasn't, I didn't think, terribly obese. And I didn't see any of my eating habits as a problem. And then when I gave up horses and switched for video games, I gained a lot of weight. Imagine that. Giving up a somewhat active thing for a somewhat really sedentary thing. So I just kind of looked at it like that and just let it be what it was and never really thought about it. So I've tried to recognize that. And I also realized that every single time I have ever lost weight, I've obsessed about it. I mean, really obsessed about it. You'd think to gain weight and to be a food addict, you'd have to think about it a lot, but in reality, I didn't think about it at all. I never thought about it, actually. And I just kept doing what I was doing, and I would eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I never thought about it. But when I was losing weight, I would obsess. I would obsess about every meal, every snack. If I had cheat meals or cheat days, I would obsess about that. I mean, it was all I thought about, ever. And then when something bigger in my life happened, something went wrong at work, something went wrong in my personal life, family, friends, whatever, and I didn't have the capacity to obsess as much, or I had to put my obsession towards something else and all my time to this other thing, I would drop my weight loss program like a hot potato. I mean, and once it's gone, once I have stopped obsessing about it, it's done. It's not, you keep it in the back of your mind and you do it later. No, I was back to my old habits and I was doing my thing and I would slowly gain all the weight back. And I wouldn't even realize I was obsessing. Like, I knew I was thinking about too much and I knew I was driving myself mildly crazy, but I figured that's what you had to do. I mean, you have to think about it, right? You have to. That's how you lose weight. You track everything. Well, I realized if I don't have time to do that or I can't maintain that, I need to do it a little bit different. And since I've recognized that now, I am trying a completely different kind of change. First of all, I'm recognizing that I am a food addict and keep it under control, I guess, right? Because you can't stop eating. So I haven't given up anything per se. I did give up going to McDonald's every morning for a McGriddle. I think that's a pretty good change. And instead, I am going with a Yoplait yogurt. I go with the regular yogurt instead of the low-fat yogurt because I find that the artificial sweeteners in the yogurt have a terrible aftertaste and give me headaches. So I go with the regular stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sugar, but it's a better option. And that has made a huge difference. I do exercise more. I try to get in something every day, even if it's something small. And I try to make it fun. I don't try to think about it too hard. I just try to do something. And it's been different. And I say it's been different because it's working. I've never, ever in my life lost weight and not felt half crazy. And I'm not saying that this is going to work forever. There may come a point where I have to really regulate what I eat more or change some of my eating habits even more than I have. But mainly it's been I changed breakfast. I no longer eat a high calorie breakfast. I eat a yogurt or a yogurt and piece of fruit, but that's probably about it. I was doing English muffin in the very beginning and I found that I was way too hungry. So the yogurt works. I'm going to stick with it. It doesn't take any time. And then the other thing I did that was pretty big was I stopped eating after dinner. For the most part, I almost never eat after dinner anymore. So that's it. After you're done with dinner, you're done for the day. And that took a lot of getting used to because I am an evening muncher. So it was a lot of bored eating and not thinking about eating. I've also recognized that I can't eat I cannot give myself unlimited portions in front of the TV. So if I say sit down with a bag of chips in front of the TV and then I sit there and watch 5 episodes of Leverage, I will eat that whole bag and I will not even know I've done it until after I've done it, and then I'm just like, oh, crap. So that's been a big change. I try not to give myself unlimited portions ever in front of the TV, or just try not to eat in front of the TV. And then I've been eating at home more. I've been cooking more just eggs and crock pot stuff. I'm getting good at the crock pot. And that kind of thing. Those are the changes I've made. And I have lost 30 pounds. I was at 305, and earlier this week I weighed in. My official weigh-in was 276, but the day after I weighed in, because I don't know why I did it actually. I just weighed in and I was 275, and that's been so far pretty much the week. But that was huge for me because last week I was at a conference and eating out with some coworkers. It was a fantastic conference for work, but I put myself in a situation where I did eat out and I did make poor choices. I made some good choices too. Actually, I made quite a few good choices, but I'm not kicking myself for that. If I go to work and choose to have a cookie, I choose to have a cookie. That does not mean that the rest of my day is done. It means that I chose to eat a cookie. And I'm okay with that. And it's been so much better. I can't describe that enough, that it's working. And since I started weighing in at 305, I have not gained any week, and I have lost all but 1 week. And that week I maintained, and I was not very happy with that actually, but I have not gained in something like 15 weeks. So I think that's pretty good. It's not a super fast process, but it's working, and I don't feel like I ever need to change things drastically to go back to normal life. This is normal life. This is not unmaintainable. So I'm doing that, and then I'm just trying to really keep a track of why I'm doing things, like analyze kind of, if I make this choice and I keep making this choice, why am I doing it? Because there might be something that I'm just not noticing, and that's helping so far. So I'm planning on making more weight loss videos, trying to keep it up on this. It might not just be about the weight loss though. I'm kind of trying to make this channel more about just my life in general, and how I'm growing and how I'm doing, and kind of self-analyzing for myself, because I find this useful to go back through and watch later. So that's where I'm at, and I appreciate all of you who have sat through a 13-minute video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.